So hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So this is the third part of the respiratory illness video. So this is Dr. Sneha Andu. Okay, moving forward. So what is flu? Flu is nothing but it's a viral infectious disease, mostly affect the upper respiratory tract, and in less cases it might causes lower respiratory issues or lower respiratory illness also. And the most causative, the causative agent over here is the influenza virus. Okay, and it belongs to the family called as Orthomyxoviridae family. Okay, so this is a small gist about the flu. So next we are going to see about the history of what were the different pandemic or the epidemic outbreaks which was happened in the olden days. So that is what we are going to see in the next slide. So if you see here in 1917, if you see the expectancy of the life for the male and the female, if you take, female was around 54 and for the male it was 47. Maybe because of the lot of during the war period, or maybe there was lot of infectious disease outbreak was there. Maybe that is also the race because of the expectancy ratio. And during this 1918 only, the first pandemic outbreak was happened. That means it is called a Spanish flu, and the strain was H1N1. Okay, so there were a lot of mortality was there, and the people was facing lot of economic crisis also. So all these things was happening during this particular period. Okay, even after the pandemic effect subsided, this type of virus was almost there in the worldwide for almost 38 years. So that is also was there. It means the people was getting mild illness or mild mortality rate was also seen during that period. Okay, and 1930s year, which is given a star point because that is a year where the scientists were able to find out what was the actual causative agent causing this type of infectious disease. So before they all thought it was a bacteria, but during that year only they were able to find out the virus is a causative agent, especially influenza virus. Okay, so that was the year where they were able to find out. And in 1957, there was a second pandemic outbreak was there with a different strain. H2N2 was there, and there was lot of mortality also was seen during that particular period. Okay, and 1960 is another important period because that is the year where the was a vaccine development for this flu was done. Okay, and 1968 there was another pandemic outbreak was there, H3N2, the swine flu in the animals, and for the bird. So all these things happened. And next in 2009, this was the swine flu was there, and there was a lot of outbreak, and it almost remained there for almost a year or so. But in the later years, the vaccine also was developed for the against the swine flu virus. Okay, so this is a small history about the influenza virus and what are the pandemic outbreak which was happened because of this infection. Next, we are going to see about the symptoms and the complication which results with the flu or this influenza virus. So the common symptoms you can see is a cough, sore throat, fever you'll be having, runny or stuffy nose, or maybe a body ache, especially muscle pain and all, headache, tiredness. Very rarely you can see vomiting or diarrhea also. So these are the common symptoms. And in the if you take in the severe cases for the children and for the adults who is immune suppressant or maybe above 65 years, these are all the other symptoms like the people persons might be having a difficulty in breathing or shortness of the breath, dizziness, okay, seizures, maybe dehydration, chest pain, and sometimes it also worsen up and results in the different other complications like such as like acute bronchitis, asthma, maybe pneumonia also. So these are the other stages which affects the lower respiratory tract infections. So these are the complication steps. Okay, so these are the symptoms and the complication. Next, we are going to see it how it normally spreads. So it normally spreads with the air droplets. If a person coughs or sneezes, the air droplets which is passed from that goes and settles on any surfaces, or maybe while shaking your hands with your friends, or maybe hugging. So these are all the ways where this infection can be passed on from one person to other. The other ways maybe from the animals also it can be passed to the humans. humans who takes care of the animals and all, from them also it can be passed to the humans. Okay, so the next is we are going to see about the types of the flu. So there are three different types of flu are there. Influenza virus, one is influenza C, B and A. If you take C virus, it causes only mild symptoms. If you and mostly affects only the upper respiratory tract. There's no severe complications and all you can see in this influenza C. So no need to fear about this influenza C virus infection. When you take influenza B, okay, when you compare with the C, there are little bit complication you can face over here, and here if you see it mostly affects only human beings, and there is less amount of mutation which happens, and also have only common symptoms like for the common cold. So no need to fear for the influenza B. Only for the mild cases only will result in complications. Other than that, almost the people can take proper rest and all can be actually cured from this type of infection. The next is the influenza A. This is one of the most dangerous when compared with the both the things, because there are a lot of mutation which happens over here. So because of this, influenza A is one of the virus which causes lot of pandemic effect and all. Okay, and this type of virus affect both the humans and the animals. Okay, so that is the reason why there are a lot of importance given for this influenza A type virus. The next we are going to see about the influenza A. Okay, so here just assume this as a virus. Okay, inside the virus if you take, there are 8 different strands of RNAs there. Okay, and on the surface of the virus you can see 2 different types of proteins, and the number of the proteins if you see here are numerous. Okay, when compared to the other types of virus. So orange color is one of the protein called as hemagglutinin, and the green color denotes neuroamylase protein. So these are the one of the major protein which is responsible for the different strains of the maybe different strains or maybe different subtype of the influenza A type. Okay, to take there are almost 17 hemagglutinin protein is there, and 10 neuroamylase protein is there. The combination of these two results in the different subtype of the influenza A. Okay, and if you can see, if you take maybe the patient or the person who is infected with this H1N1, you might be thinking that the same person will be not affected with this H1N1. The patient is affected with this one, the normal, the memory cells will be able to attack against this kind of virus. But the mutation not only happens on the surface protein, even the mutation happens in the RNA strands which is present inside the virus. So if you are affected with H1N1, the similar kind of the parent, then you are safe. But if there is any mutation in the RNA strand, then the infection might causes for the healthy individual who is even affected with a similar kind of the subtype, because here the variant will be different. Okay, so that keep it in the mind. And this type of virus, as I mentioned before, affects both humans and the animal. Okay, so how this type of virus will be named? So the first one you'll be giving the type of it, whether it is A, B or C. The next you'll be giving the original host, from where, maybe from the duck, maybe from the hen or from the pig. The original host name will be denoted, and the next will be the location where it actually outbreak, maybe from which city mostly, maybe Mumbai, Delhi, Chennai or maybe New York. So that location details will be given. And next is a strain. Which strain? The number of the strain, maybe 10, 1 or maybe the third strain which you have found out. So then that kind of number you will be giving. And the next is the year when this outbreak happened. Year will be denoted. The next one is the subtype. Subtype is the difference of the protein which is present on the surface of the virus, and that is the subtype which will be given in the last. So this is how the proper naming of the influenza A virus will be done. Okay, so this is clear. I hope this is clear. Now we are going to see about the influenza B. here it almost have the similar kind of the influenza A, similar kind of proteins which will be present on the surface, and only 8 RNA strands are present inside the RNA virus. So it's almost same, but the difference is here the number of the protein which is present on the virus is much less when compared to the influenza A, and that is the main reason why the mutation level over here is bit less when compared to the influenza A. And influenza B mostly affects only the humans, don't affect the animals. So that is the reason why this kind of naming system is given. So here type, next is location, the strain, and the year, because there is no subtype, because there is no much of mutation which happens. So that is the reason there is no subtype, and there is no original host because it normally affects only the humans. So that's why that is also blank. Okay, so this is how the influenza B virus is being named. The next one is the influenza C virus. So here, if you see, means the major difference between the other two viruses is the proteins which is present on the surface of the virus. Over there, hemagglutinin and neuraminidase is a protein which is present, but over here, the protein is hemagglutinin esterase fusion protein. That is the protein which is present on the virus, or maybe present on the surface of the virus. And here inside the virus, there are only 7 RNA strands, whereas over there was 8 RNA strands. So that is also one of the difference over here. Okay, and here it affects both humans and pigs. Okay, and when see the in the influenza B, it affects only humans. Okay, and the way of naming is almost similar to the influenza B, because there is no subtype, so that is been avoided. Type, location, strain, and the year. There is no much of mutation which happens over here, so that is also the reason why there is no original host. This which is given over here. Okay. Okay, so I hope you are clear up to here. But moving forward, we are going to see about the genetic drift. So what is meant by genetic drift? Okay, if there is a replication, okay, from one virus and the daughter cell is released, one daughter cell will be almost similar with the parental cell. So if that person has been affected with a similar kind of the virus, then the person will be already having the memory cells which has been activated and will produce antibodies which fights against this virus. But if there is any difference in the proteins which is present on the surface, and that virus is being affected or infected for a human being, then the memory cells will be not able to recognize it. Yes, so then the antibodies will be failed over to produce, and that might result in the inflammation or the infection for the particular person. Okay, this is called as genetic drift. Okay, the mutation which happens in the virus that is responsible for infecting the humans, then it is called as genetic drift. Okay, the next what we are going to see is about the antigenic shift. Here what happens is, to take an animal. Okay, so there are two types of virus is going to affect this animal. If you take a pig, virus affecting animal also will be transmitted, and even the virus affecting human also will be transmitted. That means it is a multifloral agent which causes the infection in the animal. Okay, so what happens inside the pig? This both will replicate, and this combines together. So both the RNA strands from the virus which is infects the animal and virus which infects a human combines together, and that results in the unique virus. Okay, so this is one of the major scenario where this pandemic outbreaks and all will result. Now, this is a type of thing which you mostly see in the influenza type A virus. Okay, so this is the major issue where the Spanish flu, the swine flu and all resulted. Okay, so I hope you are clear with the genetic shift and the antigenic shift. Genetic means the mutation which happens in the virus and that infects the humans. Antigenic shift means the virus, both virus which affects the animals and the humans. There's a mutation inside the animal with the combination of these two and results in a unique virus, then that virus which causes the infection to the humans, that results in the pandemic effect. That is called as antigenic shift. Okay, so next we are going to see about the prevention and the treatment. It's a very good thing because there is a vaccine which is available for the flu. So that is a very good thing because it almost reduces the 60% of the risk of the severity cases. Okay, so that is one of the best preventive thing which is available for the flu. The next preventive things which we can do in your home are: keep your hands clean, cover your nose or mouth when you sneeze or cough, so that way you can stop the spread of this virus, and don't touch your T-zones, especially faces and all, so that way you will be able to prevent yourself. And smiling, keep always fresh, so that helps you to boost the immune system. Eat healthy diet, exercise yourself. If you are feeling sick, stay at home, so take a lot of fluids. In that way you can actually develop your immune system. And if you see there is an outbreak in the society or maybe in the location where you're staying, try to take the supplements such as like vitamin C and zinc tablets. These are the ways where you can actually try to boost up the immune system. Okay, and if you take the vaccine, there are two types of vaccine which is available: trivalent inactivated vaccine and live attenuated vaccine. Both are the trivalent. Trivalent this means the three combination of the virus which is being given in this vaccine. Okay, mostly it will be A type, and another one will be B, and the third one will be the most common strain or most common outbreak which you can see in that particular locality. That type of virus will be taken and the vaccine will be developed. Okay, if it's in a trivalent inactivated virus vaccine means virus which you use means they mostly takes into the injection mode. If it's a live attenuated, a nasal spray is used as a vaccine only. Okay, the next one is the what are the other treatments which is available are: you can they'll be giving decongestant. If you're having any congestion in the nasal area, they'll be giving you the nasal spray also. The next is the cough medications, and non-steroid anti-inflammatory drug also will be given to reduce the inflammations and all, and painkillers and lot of different antiviral drugs also. Okay, so these are all the other treatments which is available for this flu infection. Next is the diagnostic things. How this influenza virus is diagnosed is with the rapid influenza diagnostic kits, and maybe by viral culture and polymerase chain reaction. Okay, so what is the positive in the PCR is that if you have only even the minute amount of the blood, you'll be able to replicate and produce lot of. In that way also you'll be able to find out the causative agent. So that is also one of the good things. The next we are going to see just an outline about what are the things which we saw in the previous slide. You take A, B and C symptom wise, almost it has almost a similar kind of symptoms. Okay, and respiratory illness maybe upper mostly affects upper respiratory illness, only very mild only it affects the lower respiratory illness. Whereas if you see in the C, only the upper respiratory tract infection only you can see. Okay, that is also will be very mild. Okay, if you see in the epidemic and pandemic outbreaks, C will be completely no for the epidemic and pandemic. Whereas if you take A and B, epidemic and pandemic is completely yes for both the things. For the B, you can see in the society wise epidemic will be there, but in pandemic wise it is completely no. Okay, and the vaccine available is for A and B, the vaccine is available, whereas for the C there is no vaccine. Okay, and if you see in genetic shift, A, B and C, in all these things the genetic shift will be there, whereas in antigenic shift if you see means in A it is yes, B it is no, and C might be in rare cases, that is also very minimum. Okay, and animal wise influenza A virus mostly affects humans, and other than that birds, pigs, horses and dogs. B is no, and C is mostly pigs and dogs. Okay, so I hope you are clear with this flu and what are the symptoms and what are the types of the flu which is there in the society. So if you hope you like this video, click the like button and do subscribe my channel for the further informative videos. Thank you very much for listening.